What's up, guys? It's Matt Lovetto, aka Zexter, and coming here with the second episode of Priority Transport SWTOR podcast. So I'm just going to hop into things really quickly. So the past week or so, I've been, going on the forums, the SWTOR forums, and coming up with different topics and things to talk about. And one of the things that really caught my attention was actually written by a guy that goes by the name of Immortality for the Win, well, Immortality FTW, but Immortality for the Win on the SWTOR forum pretty much wanted to kind of put down immersion. He didn't understand why people care so much about immersion. And I thought that was really interesting because, as I said in the response that I gave, was that, this is a role-playing game. It's an MMORPG, so you play the role of something else other than yourself. And for a lot of people, they get into that. And if they don't have the ability to feel like they are in that character, it's almost like being an actor. Very much so, I would assume, because you're trying to get in the role of your character. And for a lot of people, very little details, minute details, can actually really ruin that experience. Now, I myself don't really go out looking for complete immersion to, try to escape the bad things of life. But, I guess that is kind of part of it. We all play video games to have fun, to be challenged, to have to think outside of the box, and to get out of ourselves. If you think about it, that's pretty much why we do everything that we do. You go to work, and when you come home, you watch TV. Why do you watch TV? You watch TV because you want to be in that story, or you want to watch a story. It's the same thing with video games. It's just with MMORPGs, it's just more so because you are actively playing the role of something, hence the RPG name. He even got down to saying, it amuses me when people say things like this game failed largely due to the immersion, whereas the most popular game, League of Legends, is not immersive in the slightest. Now, it's a completely different genre. League of Legends is a MOBA. It's a battle arena. There doesn't need to be much story. There actually doesn't need to be any story, honestly, when it comes to a MOBA. You just need to have the characters, their abilities, and then people fight each other. For that type of game, there doesn't need to be any type of lore. Some lore is cool because you get to understand the different tunes that you can play and that you control, but it's not a deal breaker. So I guess maybe a lot of people that are just getting into MMOs don't understand it or don't really care. I think it's kind of weird to play an MMO and not want at least a little immersion. You want immersion in just about anything you do. Like if you go fishing, you don't want to be thinking about all of the chaotic things going on in your normal life. You want to be there in that moment fishing. It's the same thing with video games. So I thought that was an interesting point to bring up. I honestly didn't understand why you wouldn't want immersion, but it was kind of interesting to see that some people just don't care. And while I could definitely understand that in a lot of genres, just for an MMORPG, I just don't understand how you wouldn't want some immersion. Now, there's also been some problems going on with the chat box, with the /say. And this is going to be, or is actually, a big problem for the RPers, the people on the RP servers. The bug right now is that the chat, the slash say chat doesn't show up in the chat box, like even on the local side. So even amongst your own faction, if there are cross-faction players nearby. Talking to the opposite faction is one thing, but not even being able to use slash say amongst your own faction just because there's an enemy nearby. That really sucks. And what actually kind of blew my mind is that this was on the dev tracker, and there's actually no ETA given. They know it's there, but no ETA. And as far as the dev tracker goes, there's actually something I thought was kind of cool. The devs are taking suggestions on how to make the Sage and Sorcerer PvP healing better. They actually said, quote, "We would love to hear your own ideas on how you would like Sage / Sorcerer healing to be improved in PvP without also making Sage Sorcerer healing too good in PvE. We will say in advance that make such and such ability activate instantly is not a solution we are likely to consider." So I thought that was really cool that they're, just throwing it out there, saying, "Hey, we'll take your guys' suggestions. You guys are the ones paying and playing for this game, so what are some suggestions that you have?" I thought that was interesting. Now, coming up on the summer, there's going to be a lot of people out of school, so a lot of people wanting to spend more time playing. The problem is a lot of people are complaining about server populations. And, oh god, the game's dying, the game's dying, the game's dying. First off, let me say that happens in every MMO. There's always doomsday sayers. "Oh, the game's dead, you ruined it by doing this," that happens in every single game, especially MMOs. But there are some population issues. The people who are saying things like that, I will give them that, because you can definitely see it. To say the game's dying, I think that's highly premature. We're in between expansions in every MMO. In the downtime, there's always less people subbing. There's always more people that sub right when an X-Pack hits. So the bad thing about this is it's going to be a slow summer. Other games being released, WildStar being a big one, and with Strongholds, the Strongholds expansion being pushed back from June 24th to August 19th, I mean, that's really gonna suck in regards to server population. Yes. Do you want them to take extra time so whenever they actually release the expansion that it's better quality, there's not all these hiccups and bugs? Yes, of course we do. But you also have to wonder how much of this has to do with other game release dates. I mean, WoW does that a lot. They want to be competitive, and from a business standpoint, I completely understand. I completely get that. It's going to be a slow summer. There's no way around it. So, for the people that love the game, are going to keep playing, just be prepared. There's some good things coming, but we're not going to get them in the time that I really think we should. When teenagers are out of school, everyone has more time to actually invest in the game. So it's definitely going to be a fairly slow summer. But all in all, I think things are going pretty well. Other than that say slash say chat bug, that just blows my mind that they're having such a big issue with this, and there's no ETA given. I mean, I just really don't understand how that doesn't seem to be such a high priority. I mean, it's already been going on for like a month, maybe a little more. It's just really now starting to get some traction on the forum. And honestly, I didn't even I realized there was one time I was in Oricon doing dailies, and I did /say, and nothing popped up. And I was like, what the hell's going on? But I didn't really think much about it. And then now, you know, a couple weeks later, which was just yesterday, whenever I found out about this, it's like, oh, yeah, that was a bug. I think one of the things they also, in regards to /say, that would really help with like just the community like, in general, speech bubbles. Like, why the hell don't we have those? Every MMORPG has freaking speech bubbles. Like, I really don't know why we don't have those. I mean, it's not like it would be a hard thing to implement, you know, it's a fucking speech bubble. But I don't know if there's actually a reason, like if they have a specific reason to not have it, but it just makes things so much easier whenever you're typing back and forth and it pops up above a person's head. You just look right there. You don't have to constantly keep looking down in your chat box to see if someone said something, because I miss a lot. I miss a lot of talk because of that. You know, I'm really bad at constantly checking my chat box to see if someone said something. It would just be a lot easier and a lot more immersive, a lot more intuitive if there were speech bubbles. Very simple idea. I have no idea why it's not implemented in the game. But so that, yeah, that's pretty much that. Like I said, man, I really want to try to keep this podcast down in the length of time. So I just want to run down some of the big things that are going on. It's going to be a slow summer. There's some bugs going on. They're taking suggestions on how to make Sage and Sorcerer PvP healing better without jeopardizing PvE. So what do you guys think about that? What are some, for you Sages or Sorcerers out there, what's something that you would want to see without making an ability instant cast? You have to be able to look past that and have a different suggestion, because they said that they're pretty much just going to look past that suggestion. Unless, they did say that they would consider it if it was an instant cast. It was like a proc for an instant cast. So if you did something and then, you know, something procced, and then that gave you the ability to do an instant cast, that's a little different than just having a blanket instant cast. So they did say that they would consider that. So what do you guys think? Are you guys going to be okay with the whole summer being slow? I mean, there's no way around it. That it's just going to be that way. It really sucks that we don't have any really big things happening when everyone's out of school and all of that. So what do you guys think? And please rate, comment, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you guys next week.